are listening to the Audio Information Network of Colorado. This recording is intended to be used solely by individuals with barriers to print.
Thank you for joining us for Audiobook News, read from Audiophile Magazine. My name is Sarah, and today, as so often, we're starting off with fiction title reviews. Queen of Exiles by Vanessa Riley, read by Robin Miles. Robin Miles expertly delivers Vanessa Riley's novel based on Marie-Louise Christophe, wife of King Henry I of Haiti. Haiti's only black queen, Marie-Louise, was crowned in 1810 and ruled for 10 years amid political unrest and social strife. When Haiti is overthrown and Henry commits suicide, Miles recreates Marie-Louise's move to England, depicting her difficulties and hardships as well as her resounding triumphs. Miles's luxurious voice slips easily into various accents and characters. Her attitude is perfect for Marie-Louise, a strong, self-assured woman, fiercely protective of her daughters. Miles enlivens the posh parties, elegant balls, romances, and intrigues the black women experience in a white, male-dominated world. As entertaining as it is informative, Miles's performance will keep listeners enthralled. It's available from Harper Audio, 17.75 hours unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-006-327-1029 for $27.99. The Bookbinder by Pip Williams, read by Annabel Tudor. Annabel Tudor so completely inhabits the English characters at the centre of this engrossing tale of gender, class, and war that it's a bit of a shock to hear her deliver the author's note in her native Australian accent. Peggy and Maud are bookbinders at Oxford University Press. Peggy's intellectual curiosity is discernible in her voice. She chafes at the reminder that her job is to bind the books, not read them. Maud, who is neurodivergent, has a knack for parroting the core words of every conversation. Tudor rounds her vowels for upper-class female students, assumes a world-weary, deadpan tone of amusement for the twins' war-nurse friend, and adopts a light accent for the emotionally and physically damaged Belgian World War I refugees. It's a fabulous performance highlighting a wonderful story. It's available from Random House Audio, 13.5 hours unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-059-3787182 for $22.50. Books on tape as the library edition digital download, ISBN 978-059-3787199. Mrs. S. by Kay Patrick, read by Catherine Littrell. Catherine Littrell's sultry voice is as luscious and irresistible as Patrick's prose in this steamy coming-of-age novel about a young woman who falls in love with the much older wife of the headmaster at the elite girls' school where she works. Much of the novel takes place deep inside the unnamed protagonist's mind as she analyzes her own desires. Littrell masterfully voices her internal turmoil alongside the sexy and often fraught scenes between her and Mrs. S. Littrell's characterization of the house mistress, the only other queer person in the narrator's life, is especially poignant. The scenes between the narrator and the house mistress come alive with laughter and camaraderie, in contrast to the pained intensity of the rest of the novel. It's available from Brilliance Audio, 9.25 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 979-840-0141454 for $35.99. Also available as CD or MP3. The Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelssohn, read by Juliet Stevenson. Taking place over a weekend in London, this audiobook is funny at times, but more often its dysfunctional characters make the listener cringe. Ray Hanrahan is a semi-famous painter who is married to his former student Lucia, a sculptor. As his comeback exhibition approaches, he demands that his 3 adult children return home to witness it. Juliet Stevenson captures the wide-ranging personalities and emotions of the characters and is particularly effective at depicting Ray's narcissism and volatility. As the weekend progresses, Lucia receives exciting news about her own art, adding to the secrets she is keeping. The children are also hiding things about their lives. Listeners will be eager to find out what happens when Ray's darkness and egotism become impossible to ignore. It's available from Macmillan Audio, 9.75 hours long, unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-125-090-5680 for $26.99. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-125-0337450 for $74.99. Goodbye Earl, a revenge novel, by Lisa Cross Smith, read by Mila Lee, Kamali Minter, Sarah Beth Gurr, Erin Bennett, Tracy Odom, and Julian Thomas. This heartfelt audiobook about 4 friends who are seeking revenge is a must-listen. Casey, smoothly voiced by Mila Lee, returns to her small town for the first time since high school. She's haunted by the truth of her mother's death. Ada, portrayed confidently by Erin Bennett, is now married with kids. Rosemary, whose upspeak is delivered by Kamali Minter, is balancing an open relationship. Caroline, voiced softly by Sarah Beth Gower, just married the town's richest bachelor, Trey. When Trey's abusive behavior sends Caroline to the hospital, the other girls decide they've had enough of a justice system that protects privileged citizens while leaving women to suffer. Police interviews are voiced by Julian Thomas and Tracy Odom. It's available from Hachette Audio, 12.5 hours long, unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-166-862-6337 for $27.99. And now we're moving on to sci-fi, fantasy and horror titles, starting off with an interview with narrator Mara Wilson by Jennifer M. Dowell. Somebody said once that it's really funny and seems fitting that Matilda grew up to be an audiobook narrator, actor Mara Wilson tells us. When she was 9 years old, Wilson starred in the 1996 film version of Roald Dahl's Matilda, about a little girl who loves books. In fact, Wilson says, one of my earliest memories, I think my mom couldn't find a babysitter, and maybe I had an ear infection or something like that, so she just wrapped me up in blankets in my pajamas and put me in the back of a classroom because she was reading Matilda to my brother's class, and she was performing all of the characters, and her narration was just so action-packed and so exciting, and I remember just being captivated. And obviously that book would go on to be a big part of my life later on. Though she's continued to have a great love for stories and storytelling, Wilson's career has only recently turned to narration. Her first audiobook was her 2016 memoir, Where Am I Now? True Stories of Girlhood and Accidental Fame. And then I was fortunate enough to work with my friends Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Kramer on their audiobook. I had done a voice for this cult podcast hit called Welcome to Night Vale. They wrote a book called The Faceless Old Woman Who Secretly Lives in Your Home, and asked if I would narrate it, and I absolutely loved it. At the time I thought, oh, I'm more of a writer these days. I think my acting skills have kind of atrophied. I'm rusty. But I did the book, and Jeffrey sent me a text saying, we love this, and you are such a great actress. I was blown away by that comment. Wilson recently narrated the horror novel Camp Damascus, written by another cult favorite, author Chuck Tingle. I started working with Chuck because he was working with Welcome to Night Vale. I was always amazed by how kind and wholesome he is. He sent me a message saying, would you like to record my debut novel? Wilson says she related to the main character deeply. I am very, very analytical and a bit obsessive, so Rose's need to memorize facts and her compulsions and such are something that, especially as a person with OCD, I very much understood. Though Wilson stresses she's still a novice as a narrator, she won an Earphones Award for her performance of Margaret Duay's Scorched Grace, about a queer, tattoo-covered, mystery-solving nun, and another as part of the ensemble cast of Alison Bechdel's Dykes to Watch Out For. Wilson is looking forward to more stories and to continuing to hone her craft as a narrator. Most days it's the best job I've ever had. Even when it's hard, it's still fun. And now for a review of Camp Damascus, by Chuck Tingle, read by Mara Wilson. Mara Wilson expertly narrates a queer horror novel about an evangelical religious community in Montana and the gay conversion therapy camp at its heart. Rose Darling is 20, and while she never went to Camp Damascus, she knows people who have, though they don't talk about it. The novel takes a sharp turn into the surreal in the first chapter, when Rose vomits up mayflies at the dinner table, and her parents pass it off as a fluke. Wilson narrates with emotional depth, conveying all of Rose's intelligence, inquisitiveness, and fear as she's hunted by otherworldly beings. Rose, who is autistic and, she comes to realize, queer, fights to discover the truth about the rot at the center of all she's been taught, and fights for her future. It's available from Macmillan Audio, 9.25 hours unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-125-0900920 for $26.99. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-125-336-507 for $64.99. Wayward Moon, Souls of the Road 2 by Devin Monk, read by Rob Moreira, Elena Anderson, Daniel Yaka, Dawn Ursula, Mecca Rogers, and a full cast. Travel along Missouri's Route 66 with Not Quite Dead or Alive, Brogan, and Lou Gage, who have been hunting for missing and magical objects for decades in this spine-tingling paranormal thriller. Rob Moreira portrays fearless, gritty-voiced Brogan. Soft-hearted Lou, who is fiercely protective and witty, is portrayed by Elena Anderson. When Cupid charges Brogan and Lou with finding the magic rabbit, they team up with werewolves and a ghost, fight the evil Hush in their underground lair, and rescue teenage chirpy-voiced Abby, who is portrayed by Mecca Rogers. Music and intense sound effects announce impending magic and accompany battles with terrifying creatures. A full cast embodies these champions of good as they fight ghoulies, fae, and evil. It's available from Graphic Audio, 4.75 hours audio program. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-168-508-7524 for $17.99, also available as MP3. The Road to Roswell by Connie Willis, read by Jesse Valinsky. Jesse Valinsky and Connie Willis have a marvelous time in this delightful homage to road trips, old westerns, romance, alien hunters, and, well, aliens. When Francie arrives in Roswell during the UFO festival, she's trying to stop a friend's UFO-themed wedding. Then she's abducted by an alien who is on an unusual quest. When they're joined by an elderly gambler, a UFO hunter, an RV owner, and a mysterious hitchhiker, the adventure is on. The frantic UFO hunter has a nasal whine. The RV owner is, "Aw shucks, great." And the gambler's quavery enthusiasm is grin-inducing. Valinsky also knows exactly what a teenage alien's texts sound like. Never has "no, no, no" been so variously and hysterically rendered. Throughout, Valinsky's Technicolor performance radiates the story's essential kindness and joy. It's available from Random House Audio, 14 hours unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-374-3027 for $25. Books on Tape has the library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-374-3034 for $95. Straight by Chuck Tingle, read by Andre Santana. With his enthusiasm for spoken word poetry, improv, and non-binary politics, up-and-coming voice talent Andre Santana brings a personable feel to this satirical sci-fi romp. It's the third annual Saturation Day, the day when strange cosmic rays pelt the Earth, and for one unspeakable night many of the planet's straight, or overwhelmed population turn into raging chainsaw-toting zombies. This year, 4 LGBTQ+ friends decide to head for a remote cabin in the desert to wait out the brutal craziness. Sadly, it's not that easy. Santana is at his best when transitioning from the character's banter to the chilling zombie mayhem. This audiobook is a fast-paced cocktail of social commentary, humor, and horror. It's available from Macmillan Audio, 4 hours long unabridged. Trade Edition Digital Download, ISBN 978-125-0323361 for $10.99. The Splinter in the Sky by Kimi Ashingiwa, read by Sunila Nankani. Sunila Nankani is a fabulous choice to narrate this new diverse space opera set amid political upheaval and intrigue on the Splinter, the Valbaran's empiric seat of control in space. Nankani handles the unusual names with finesse and smoothly guides the listener through the complex LGBTQ-affirming plot. Enetan, voiced beautifully by Nankani, is smart, sincere, and talented. Her tea-making expertise allows her to integrate into high society at the Splinter and gather information that may help overthrow the Shadow Council and free her imprisoned sibling, as well as secure their homeland's freedom. Nankani's deft vocal skills will entertain a wide variety of listeners. It's available from Simon & Schuster Audio, 14 hours long, unabridged. Trade Edition Digital Download, ISBN 978-179-716-3703 for $23.99. The Far Reaches, Stories to Take You Out of This World by Nnedi Okorafor, John Scalzi, Veronica Roth, Rebecca Roanhorse, James S.A. Corey, and Anne Leckie. Read by James Patrick Cronin, Sunila Nankani, Sean Taylor Corbett, P.J. Morgan, Deleg Ongundiran, and Kay Illuvian. This intriguing collection of short speculative fictions features a superb ensemble of narrators. Set in space, the works feature a janitor who is investigating murder on a spaceship, a human who is adopted by a prominent alien, a man whose thousands of clones are dispatched to Earth-like planets, and a group of sentient ships connected to humans who are using futuristic biological science. Of particular note is P.J. Morgan's carefully paced delivery of The Long Game, in which a sentient slug-like creature is on a mission to preserve their life. Kay Illuvian's gentle narration in Slow Time Between the Stars captures a serene AI spaceship that is on a timeless journey to introduce humanity to the next Earth-like planet. It's available from Brilliance Audio, 6.75 hours long unabridged. Trade Edition Digital Download, ISBN 978-149-1595800 for $24.99. And now we have some young adult title reviews. Threads That Bind by Kika Hatzopoulou, read by Mia Hutchinson-Shaw. Mia Hutchinson-Shaw delivers a thrilling performance of this noirish fantasy. The descendants of gods live in a dystopian world. Some have inherited the powers of their ancestors. Io and her two sisters are descended from the Fates. They can alter threads of life. Io uses her gift as a private detective and is hired by the mob queen Bianca to solve a series of murders. Bianca forces Io to work with her handsome associate, Adi. Unbeknownst to Adi, he is bound to Io through a thread of fate. Hutchinson-Shaw shines with the dialogue of villains when her voice becomes deep and her delivery more deliberate, even scratchy at times. She uses pacing to deliver action-packed passages and infuses romantic scenes with emotions that may make listeners swoon. It's available from Listening Library, 12 hours long unabridged, recommended for ages 14 and up. Trade Edition Digital Download, ISBN 978-059-368-1930 for $27.50. Library Edition Digital Download, ISBN 978-059-368-1947 for $75. A Crooked Mark by Linda Cow, read by Sean K. Jane. 17-year-old Matthew's emotional journey into Cow's dark coming-of-age fantasy is unnerving at times due to an exceptional performance by Sean Jane. Jane's whispery voice is filled with a creepy calm, as Matt must determine whether Ray Winter is marked by the devil. Jane emotes tenderness when Matt is with Ray, and when he pines for his late mother. While Matt is at school, Jane makes it clear that the teen is carefully controlling his emotions. Jane pivots to anger when Matt is being pressured to finish off Ray. Listeners will cringe at Ray's rage when she discovers Matt has spied on her. Fully realized secondary characters such as Matt's landlord and a potential rival help keep this compelling production racing to its dramatic showdown. It's available from Listening Library, 9 hours long, unabridged, recommended for ages 14 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-368-1916 for $25. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-368-1923 for $63. Transmogrify, 14 Fantastical Tales of Trans Magic, by G. Harron Davis, read by Kamar Yochanan, Nikki Endres, Vico Ortiz, and Avi Roque. This audio anthology of short stories centers on trans and non-binary characters in a magical setting. An ensemble cast of narrators, Nikki Endres, Avi Roque, Vico Ortiz, and Kamar Yochanan, deliver tales about students in magical schools, people whose magic doesn't fit binary and gender expectations, monstrous revenge, broomstick customization, and caring for dragon eggs. Endres's narration in particular leans into melodramatic performances that embody audacious main characters and comically evil villains. Ortiz's narration style is chilling and atmospheric, engrossing listeners in horrors that include whispering spirits and gravelly voiced monsters. Roque and Buchanan voice characters utilizing distinct tones and modulation, delivering tender, emotional moments realistically. Truly magical listening. It's available from Harper Audio, 11 hours long, unabridged, recommended for ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-006-321-8833 for $27.99. Flowerheart, by Catherine Bakewell, read by Morag Sims. Morag Sims's deft narration skills shine in this inclusive young adult fantasy, which includes LGBTQ+ characters. 15-year-old Clara's unruly magic and wild emotions have accidentally caused flowers to bloom from her father's chest. Sims puts forth a leisurely but polished and formal tone as she switches between Clara and Xavier, Clara's handsome ex-best friend, whom she is now partnering with to save her father. Clara's voice is honeyed and peppered with both zest and whining, while Xavier, who is struggling with his dark past, swings between bashfulness and worldliness. Minor characters have distinct and strong voices. Listeners will enjoy hearing Clara and Xavier's relationship evolve. It's available from Harper Audio, 9.5 hours long, unabridged, recommended for ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-006-321-4651 for $27.99. The Grimoire of Grave Fates, edited by Hannah Alcoff and Margaret Owen, read by January Lavoie and Nikki Endres. January Lavoie's and Nikki Endres' stunning, versatile performances in this mystery about a magic school are as alluring as its whodunit plot. A young necromancer at the Galileo Academy for the Extraordinary is drawn to the dead body of a much-hated Professor Dropwort. Students across campus, including a werewolf, an arithmetic magician, a supernatural polyglot, a cross-dimensional traveller, and many more, work to solve the case before one of their own is wrongfully blamed for the crime. Written by 18 different authors, the chapters recount the 18 perspectives of queer, trans, and other marginalized students. Lavoie nails each one, as well as the voices of gargoyles, teachers, and law enforcement officers. Endres balances Lavoie's playful tones with a serious delivery of case evidence. Together, they bring this innovative audiobook to life. It's available from Listening Library, 12.5 hours unabridged, recommended for ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-367-9975 for $27.50. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-367-9982 for $75. And that is it for me for today. Thank you for joining us for Audiobook News. My name is Sarah.
You are listening to the Audio Information Network of Colorado.
Attention Coloradans! The Colorado Department of Human Services has a special announcement that could put money back in your pocket. You might qualify for the Colorado Property Rent Heat Credit, PTC, rebate. You may qualify if you lived in Colorado for the full year, if nobody claimed you as a dependent on their tax return, if you have legal status in the United States, and if you earn at or below $15,831 for singles or $21,381 for couples in 2021, or $16,925 for singles, or $22,858 for couples in 2022. Also, one of the following must apply. You're 65 years or older, or your surviving spouse aged 58 or older by December 31st, or you were disabled for the entire year. Listen up, because this is crucial. You have a 2-year window to apply for this rebate after the respective calendar year. So, for 2021 expenses, ensure you apply by December 31st, 2023. And for 2022, you have until December 31st, 2024. When you're ready to apply, ensure the address on your PTC application matches your Colorado driver's license or ID card. Discrepancies could delay your rebate. And if you need to update your address, make sure to grab a change of address form and head to any Colorado Motor Vehicle Division driver's license office. Don't have a Colorado ID? Don't worry. Other forms of identification might work. Just ensure you have valid ID on hand. Lastly, if you're thinking, this sounds complicated, fret not. There's free help available. Call the Colorado Department of Revenue at 303-238-7378 or Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, VITA, at 800-906-9887. You can also dial 211, a free call, to find a nearby tax site. For more details or to access the application form, simply head to www.taxcolorado.com and click on File and PTC Rebate.
Access to nutritious food is a fundamental right for everyone, yet 12% of the U.S. population faces limited access to such meals, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA. Hunger not only affects our work performance and overall health, but also impacts the learning and growth of children. The USDA is actively working to increase food security and reduce hunger by offering a range of food and nutrition programs. Programs like the Child and Adult Care Food Program reimburse daycare centers for providing nutritious meals, while the Farmers Market Nutrition Program provides coupons for fresh, locally grown produce. The Special Nutrition Program for Women, Children, and Infants offers grants to states, ensuring healthcare referrals, supplemental foods, and nutrition information for vulnerable low-income individuals. And let's not forget the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, which helps eligible families purchase healthy food and educates them on nutritional choices. If you need immediate nutritional assistance, call the National Hunger Hotline at 1-866-348-6479 or 1-877-842-62 6273 in Spanish to find local food resources. That's 1-866-348-6479 or 1-877-842-6273 in Spanish.